Hello, and welcome back to another fun-filled episode of the Hammercast. I'm your host, Alex, the Hebrew Hammer Salkin, and today we're going to be talking a little bit about strength training safely on a high-mileage body. And you know what? Look, mileage is just something that's going to pile up on your soft machine, whether you like it or not. So the better thing to do, unlike what a lot of people will do, is they'll just kind of hang up their spurs. They'll stop, their rugged ambitions, and they say, I just can't lift anymore because this bugs me, that bugs me, whatever. The reality is that if you train intelligently, you can still train safely, even if you've got a little bit of mileage on you. All right. So there's no need to give up your hopes and dreams of being studly. It's still very possible. So that's what we're going to talk about in this episode. One of the things, by the way, that will definitely help you toward that end is moving the way that you were made and not the way that you've decayed. Odds are, if you're listening to this, you're already a big fan of kettlebells and calisthenics. Maybe you're alone in that. Maybe your friends and family don't quite get it, but at least you get it. Maybe some of them do get it. Maybe they're starting to cotton to the idea that this stuff is very good for you because it helps you to use the natural movements of your body so that you can get stronger the way that you're supposed to. But the kernel, like the very nucleus of natural physical movement is your gait pattern. And I would be remiss if I don't mention this because the better your gait pattern is in terms of strength and coordination, the easier it is in many cases to get strong at your favorite exercises, whether it's swings, snatches, military press, pull-ups, you name it. There's nothing more fundamental than being able to move from point A to point B. And to do that, we need to have a good, strong, well-connected gait pattern. So I put together a free ebook called the 9-Minute Kettlebell and Bodyweight Challenge. It's based around gait pattern movements, so the moves are super simple to learn and not at all the kind of thing that you're going to have to rack your brain on. What's really nice, too, is that you can toss it into any other program, any other workouts that you're doing. As the name implies, it only takes 9 minutes long. And the really cool part is that it's designed to complement your training rather than complicate your training. So you can toss it in. You'll probably start to notice your workouts actually get better, stronger, easier to recover from, all sorts of stuff. So go to 9minutechallenge.com, get yourself a free copy. All right. Now, without further ado, I want to talk about one of my favorite movies ever growing up, and that is Raiders of the Lost Ark. I still love this movie. In fact, many years ago, I was dating this gal, and she had somehow managed to live her whole life without having seen the movie. So the first movie we ever watched together was Raiders of the Lost Ark, because I was like, this is like an essential movie. You absolutely have to watch it. And one of the best lines in the movie is when Indiana Jones and his love interest, Marion Ravenwood, are on a boat. And Marion says, "You're not the man I knew 10 years ago." And Indiana Jones says, "It's not the years, honey. It's the mileage." And, when I was little, I don't think I really understood it. I don't think I really got what it meant. I always thought it was just kind of like a pithy throwaway line designed to get a few chuckles while offering a window into Indiana Jones's long history of beating up bad guys and occasionally taking a few hits himself. Well, past the age of 30, I started to realize it was a bit more of an observation than just a pithy quote. And, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying like I'm decrepit and beat up or whatever, but, like anybody else, I've piled on some mileage. And unlike when I was a strapping younger buck and could take more of a beating, both of my workouts as well as martial arts practice, and then still wake up the next day feeling like $1,000,000. Nowadays, I might get in a tough workout and not even realize it until the next day. You don't feel, everything feels great. And then you wake up in the morning and you're sore in places you never thought. It still happens to me on occasion as well. So it probably happened to you. So nothing strange there. But as we get older, there's no earthly reason why we shouldn't be able to get stronger, tougher, and better conditioned than when we were young. But there are plenty of reasons to take a smarter approach to it. And one of the smartest approaches I know is to build a little extra muscle. You might be asking why. And this is probably not everybody's asking why, but a lot of people are wondering why. Okay, why does it really matter? Isn't it just kind of a vain aesthetic pursuit? And the answer is no. More muscle mass can equal more strength, faster metabolism, and greater ease of staying lean and getting more resilient against physical mishaps. Another important thing is past the age of 30 and then particularly 40 and beyond, we start to lose up to 5% of our muscle mass every year. This is a process known as sarcopenia, or muscle wasting. And if you're not actively working on keeping it on, you will begin to lose it. More muscle equals potentially fewer training plateaus, less frustration in your workouts, and more PRs flowing in, because the more contractile tissue you have to put toward an effort, the more likely it is that you're going to be successful with that effort. Now, I could go on and on with this list, but you get the picture. A while ago, I did an interview on this very podcast with a gentleman named Mike Moran. You should look up that episode if you haven't listened to it already. And he's done a great number of my programs in the past, including one of my perennial favorites, Gains Giving. It's a very popular one that I offer usually around like November every year. And it's a 6-week muscle building program with kettlebells. Now, according to him, Gains Giving also helped him with his bottoms up kettlebell press, which is not practiced in the program at all. He took it from 16 kilos to a whopping 24 kilos without practicing them. What's really impressive about this is that that's a very fickle move, and it's very difficult to get better at because the lack of stability makes it harder to control. So even going from 16 to 20 kilos is a pretty impressive leap, but 16 to 24 is really incredible. Again, almost sounds like it's too good to be true, but such is the power of filling gaps in your development and actively working on increasing your structural strength, which we could look at as like the strength of your muscles, tendons, ligaments, etc., as opposed to only focusing on what we might refer to as your systemic strength, which would be like the strength of your nervous system. Now, if you like cool, high yield kettlebell and calisthenics workouts, like the one Mike the Man Moran was doing, and you're bored to tears with your boring workouts, a great cure for this boredom very well might be my 9-minute kettlebell and bodyweight challenge. Now, again, as I mentioned earlier, you don't have to switch your current program. You can stick with it. Toss in the 9-minute challenge either at the beginning or at the end, or you can do it in between rounds of the other stuff that you're doing until you've accumulated the full 9 minutes. And I think you're going to find that you are stronger, you're moving better, better conditioned, better eye-hand coordination, all sorts of stuff like that. So again, 9minutechallenge.com. I think you will greatly appreciate it. And by the way, if you already have it, feel free to share this episode with somebody who you think would enjoy it, who also might enjoy the 9-minute challenge. Spread the love, spread the strength, and spread the gains. Go forth, be resilient, and as always, have fun. Happy training.